All good.
Far away.
Jess, how are you feeling heading to a pretty big final at Adelaide Oval?
Yeah, look, really excited. I think for us as a group it was really positive that we were able to finish the regular season with the win against the Renegades back home in Mackay, and I think now it's sort of with the new structure of the finals it'll be a little bit different, but the girls are really looking forward to the challenge, and hopefully we've got 3 more games left in us.
You finished above Adelaide, but you have to play them at their home in a final. Do you feel shafted by that?
No, not at all. I think it's one of those things with obviously all the borders and the COVID restrictions and whatnot, and I mean Adelaide Oval's a very beautiful part of the world to play cricket in, and I think we had a really good experience here with the game against the Thunder earlier in the regular season, so we'll look back on that, and it's a venue that we've played at before, which is also pleasing.
Jess, Georgia Redmayne's in the spotlight for her wonderful work. Is she one of the brightest keepers in the country? Should she be in the Australian team?
Yeah, well, I guess from an unbiased opinion, being a fellow Queenslander, she should be in that side. I mean, she was part of the series against India, part of that squad, and from my opinion, she's probably the form keeper batter in the competition at this stage, and it's no surprise to anybody in the Brisbane Heat setup with the amount of work that she's put in, and I think she's really benefited from her stint over in the Welsh Fire as well as part of the 100, that she was able to work with someone of the likes of Sarah Taylor, who was one of the best keepers in the women's game. So it's really exciting for us that she's producing the level of cricket that we know that she's capable of, and it's no surprise.
And pretty handy stumping to chuck on the highlight reel as well. Where were you? Did you see? What do you make of it? Yeah, well, I was at mid-off, and it was absolutely incredible that she's tidied up a few of those balls down leg side, and that stumping was probably one of the quickest I've seen in the game, and she's managed to pull off a couple of those this season, and I think Nadine de Klerk's a little bit thankful for that as well. Is it nice to be out here as well? When you think of like the Karen Rolton versus the Adelaide Oval, it's great for the girls to have access to one of the premier grounds in the country. Does it add anything? Does it make you feel any better? Yeah, well, I think it adds a lot. I think everybody's grown up watching a lot of the men's games on TV, and some of these iconic venues such as Adelaide Oval, and I think both Karen Rolton and Adelaide Oval add different elements to it, and hopefully we can get a big crowd out here. I think it's probably a good thing for us that we will be playing against the Strikers, so there will be a really good atmosphere, and sometimes it's sort of, you can use that to your advantage if you are the away side, or I guess not the favourite in a way, that you can use that to your advantage and use it to sort of fuel that drive to want to come out on top.
Peter, the only ones of the forwards who have won a title. What sort of confidence does that give you the edge going into this week?
Yeah, well, to be honest, that's not a stat that I really knew about. So, I mean, it's something that obviously I guess you can draw back on in the sense that you've had those experiences, and for us, our side for those 2 titles, I guess, has been quite consistent, that there's only a handful of changes, and I think in saying that as well, it's sort of you got to produce games of cricket in different conditions against different opposition every season, and it's nice to be able to look back on those experiences and draw on those, but every season and every game brings up a different challenge, and it's sort of been proven throughout this season that any team that sort of doesn't fully show up on the day doesn't come out on top. So we know, regardless of wherever we play, whoever it's against, that we need to be on our game right from the line.
You've talked about this year, what have you made of your own performance, and how you contribute to the team?
Yeah, look, it's something I'm incredibly proud of. Obviously, coming off the back of an injury in the pre-season and missing out in the Australian series leading into this, that I was very nervous sort of coming in, that I hadn't played any sort of professional cricket, or any cricket actually, for 6 months. So I was a little bit nervous, but I'm really pleased that I'd put in a lot of hard work, and it's nice to be able to get that reward from the wickets. But in saying that, I've said to a few of our girls, as good as the Golden Caps are, I'd rather be holding a trophy at the end of the season.
Jess, the men's team's been in the news for the wrong reasons. In the women's game, in your experience culturally, how would you describe the environment?
Yeah, look, from my point of view, we've had no issues from a cultural point of view, particularly in our women's side. And I think that, that's been a lot of hard work behind the scenes over a number of years, and I'm very confident that the men's team is on that same track as well. So, I think it's hard when everything's sort of in the media and it's hard to sort of get away from it. But I think for us that we're just trying to focus on what we have coming up, and that's the WBBL finals.
Is it sort of disappointing to see, from your point of view, that the leader of the Australian cricket team has been sort of caught up in this sort of thing as a captain as yourself? That you hold yourself to a different standard. A bit disappointing?
Look, it's not really my place to comment on somebody else's actions, so yeah, I'll just probably leave it at that, if that's all right.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.